Hey everybody, my name is Rydo and we are back to Hexcells Infinite. So we're going to try the audio, see what it does when we just turn off the music. I guess this is probably going to turn off just the music and then we'll do one puzzle that way. See what it feels like as we do 2, 1. So in the second group they reintroduce the concept that we've seen from Hexcells and Hexcell Plus. Numbers with a dash, then a number, then a dash gives you additional information that the two hexes are not connected. So that's a little too specific the way it's written. If it says dash 2 dash, the two aren't connected. If it says dash 3 dash, then there are three, but they're not connected. So for this very simple example, that means of the possible places where there could be a piece of the puzzle, this one can't be it, because just like when this one could be it and had to be it when it was bracket to bracket, it's the exact opposite. Although I find the dashes are actually a lot less useful. I'm also finding it a little too quiet here. So you can put one here, and then there can't be one here, then there can be one here. And that's the only valid solution. This one's out, so those two are in. This bit of information here actually eliminates this one and this one, because it can't be this and this, and it can't be this and this. So that one's gone and that one's gone. And that's literally the only thing you can get from that configuration. The next bit of information comes from this one and this one, which both eliminate that and that. And then this one and this one tells that has to be it, and this one tells us that that has to be it. So we're lucky that those ones were there, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to solve it. This one is the one I see a lot of. You're touching three, two of them can't be connected. So the one scenario here that won't work is this and this. It can be this and this, or this and this, but it can't be this or this, which means this has to be part of the puzzle. Which then this one tells us this isn't part of the puzzle. This 2 then tells us this is part of the puzzle, which then satisfies this and eliminates this. So we have one piece remaining, and it has to be one of these two to satisfy this, which means it can't be that. So that's out, and then this piece is the necessary bit of information that we had to have to eliminate this. And this one tell us that's in, and this one tells us that's in. And I'm gonna go back and turn the music back on, because even though there's still not a volume here, absolutely no volume, he's slowly working his way to making progress, to making a robust menu system. I would much rather have the music than sit there and be quiet. That's too much silence for trying to focus on a puzzle game. So this 2 non-consecutive means this and this aren't part of the puzzle. This 3, it could be this one and this one though. But then this 1 tells us that of the 2, since this one to be satisfied has to be this one or this one, that means this one's going to touch it. So again, these are all impossibilities. They're eliminated. But none of these ones really give us any information. Let's see. This one needs to touch 3, and it can't be done by doing this and this, because then this would be a 2. So that means this has to be part of it. Right? And then the third one could be this, or it could be this. Either one would work. If it was this, these two would be satisfied. This would be satisfied, this would be satisfied. Now, 2 non-consecutive touching 4, I don't believe tells us any bit of information. 3 would tell us something, touching 4, but until we can get rid of one of these, I haven't eliminated the possibilities correctly. I can tell you that of these 3, one of them is in, and then let's see. Of these 3, one of them's in. That's 2 we know of. There's 1 here we know of. At least that's 3. There's 1 here. That's 4. Is it starting us off very early to say you have to guess? I keep thinking you have to guess, and it's impossible for me to tell if it's true or not. Because if it is true, then when I go back and try and play without any mistakes, I already know the answer, so I end up guessing again. It's kind of impossible to forget how to do a puzzle once you've done it once. It could be here and it could be here. And then here. Does all of that work together? Or it could be there's 1 here, and then 1 here, and then 1 here. What if there was 1 here, and 1 here? And then 1 there. Seems like every single place is a viable solution. If this was the one that turned out to be it, then this would have to be it. And then this or this could be it. And this 2 is touching 2. And this 1, wait a minute. Here it is. Here's the next step. Often I'll say you have to find that next step or you're just going to be lost. This one has to either touch this or this. That means this one's out. That means this one is touching 3, non-consecutive. So that one's out. So that's in, that's in, that's in, that's in, that's in. This now is satisfied, so it eliminates this. This 2 tells us this is part of the puzzle. So now this is satisfied, so that's out. This 2 tells us it's part of the puzzle. Now that this 2 is only touching 3, we already knew the solution anyways. There. This eliminates this. This includes this. Without that one vital piece of information, we were on the verge of guessing. Just on the verge of guessing because I didn't see that one vital clue. This 2 here has been satisfied, so that's out. This 1 is only touching 1, so that's in. This 2 takes this out. This 1 takes this out. And this out. And then this 1 takes this out. This 0 takes that out. And we have 1 remaining. So it's to my eye, pretty obvious which one it is here. We have one that's touching these three, and one that's touching these three, and one of them has to be the mine, as I call it. Really shouldn't just keep on justifying it and saying touches the mine as I call it. Just call it the mine if you want to call it the mine. This game is basically an advanced version of Minesweepers. Almost a little Picrossy too, at a certain point, but it doesn't actually ever show any pictures, which is a little shame. It could have done that at least a couple more times. So, like, we know it's this one because there's one remaining. If there wasn't one remaining, it could, in theory, be like either one of these and either one of these, and then that would eliminate this one, and then hopefully this would tell us some bit of information, but it actually wouldn't. You wouldn't be able to logic that out, because if this one said it's touching one, that's good, or that's good. If it said it was touching two, it would solve. But either way, we know this isn't here, this isn't here, this isn't here, and this isn't here. Again, I've solved the puzzle, yet the game wants me to take that final step, gives me one last opportunity to make a mistake. And it counts mistakes if you click the right click on something that you should left click, and it counts mistakes if you left click on something that should be right clicked. So a significant portion of the mistakes I've made in the Hexcells series of games have been simply by clicking the wrong button. Here we have 0, so that eliminates these. This 2 is only touching 2, so there's 2. This 2 is only touching 2, so that's 2. This 3 consecutive tells us it could be this or this, so that eliminates these 2. This 5 consecutive tells us nothing, unfortunately, because it could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or it could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see, this 2 here is only touching 2, so that includes those 2. That means this one eliminates this, and this 3 would have eliminated that one too. This 2 eliminates this because they're non-consecutive. This 2 includes this one. This 2 then eliminates that because it's only 2. So when it is -3 dash and you're touching 4, the possibilities of a non-consecutive are 1, 2, skip 1, or 1, 2, skip 1. That's the only possibilities. And so it doesn't tell us anything about which ones are included here, but it always means on the outer sides, those are included. So that's a little bit helpful. And with that bit of information, we've satisfied this 2, which eliminates this, and then this 5 has to go here. There we go. So we have 2 remaining mines. One has to touch this one, and one has to touch this one. So this one also has to touch this one. So of these 3, where one mine is, it has to also touch this because we only have 2 remaining. So we have to be frugal with our mine placement. So that means this is out. And then this 2 pretty much solves the puzzle because, well, at least helps. It tells us that there can't be 2 here because then that would be a 3. And it tells us that the one that between these 2 has to be this one, so it touches this. So that one's in, That means because of this one and this 3, this one's out. And now we just have to figure out, is the second one here or here? Well, this one's only touches 2, so we know these 2 are out. And then this one, it was the vital piece of information to include that. So we have no mines remaining now. We have done the puzzle. Quickly you go up in the number of hex cells. It kind of goes up too fast, but I mean, I guess the scoring system seems to be alright. So now on puzzle 2-4, level 2-4, which I think this might be new that it says level here. The whole background menu things still need to be darker and stand out more. It's still very difficult to see. Numbers outside the grid show the number of blue hexes in that column. You can left click on the outside numbers to activate a guideline and right click to mark them as complete. So for example, this 0 means there are no pieces no parts of the puzzle here. I can left click that to make a guideline, which I think you may have improved that slightly, and then right click to mark it done. And then right click it to undo it, and then left click it to turn it back in. Then there we go. This diagonal one goes diagonal. This diagonal one goes this diagonal. It's a pretty good system. Only time I haven't seen it ever used is I've never seen them put a number on the bottom side and go up. I don't think there's really any reason to do that. It would just be repetitive. Let's see. So there will be some crisscrosses here. The crisscross doesn't immediately mean that there is a piece there, but they might be bits of information that gives you a good guess or helps out in a later step. So this one has 5. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 potential places. So that means all of them are part of the puzzle. So it's not just the 0, it's also the max number of possibilities that you would be searching for before you started anywhere else. And then when you have a column satisfied like this, 1 in this diagonal column, you can just go ahead and get rid of the other ones in the column. Mark that done. This 2 only has 2 remaining now, and this 2 tells us that, so those 2 are part of the puzzle. The 0 gets rid of this. This 1 includes this. This 3 now has to include this, and it always did. We didn't even have to go that far. There was only 3 potential options. This 1 gets rid of these 2, and then this one gets rid of the other 2, plus the fact that there's no more remaining. So that was more of a simple introductory puzzle than an actual puzzle. Now I think the next one will be a real difficult one. So without even really explaining it any further, they throw in 5 connected pieces. So what you can do when it says a number in brackets in a column is you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this, and then see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And because there are 8 potential places, the overlap is these 2 in both possible extreme scenarios, because there could be some middle scenarios too, but they don't matter. In the furthest from the top and furthest from the bottom scenario, this one and this one are both included, so they have to be part of the puzzle. Now it could be 1 here and 2 here, or it could be 1 here and 2 here, so we can't use any more of that information to our advantage, but it's a good start at least. This 1, however, gets rid of everything here, and as we start using these column markers, getting rid of an entire column may be just as useful, if not more useful, for things. For example, this 4. Now there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 potential places. 4 are needed, so that's in, and that's in. This 2 has already been satisfied, so these are all out. I think it's kind of a shame you can't just change your mind. That it just counts mistakes as you go. I think it would be cooler if you had a different gameplay mode where you could just totally mess up your logic and flag things as mines as it is, and then have to hit a button saying you're done and it will check your answers. That would give you like no feedback whatsoever, but you could call that a hardcore mode. I'm sure people would be fine with that. So this 3 gets us back to the basic way of doing Hexcells. It's only touching 3, so these 2 are included. This 2 is already touching 2, so this is out. This 0 would have also gotten rid of it. This 2 is already touching 2, so that's out. So, is there anything else we can get right now? Not with that. This 3 only has 3 options though. 1, 2, 3. So this is when you start counting a lot. You'll count upwards, you'll count downwards, you'll count twice in a row, or at least I will. Make sure I do it right, because one slip of the mind gives you that one mistake. The second one, you don't get all of the Hexcells. And you're gonna have to play the puzzle again. This 4 only has 4 potential options, so that one's in. This 1 is now satisfied, so these are all out. So, what I mean by MIDI files is that's a file format of music that's basically sheet music. And I think there's a song that's programmed into every level, or maybe just one song for the whole game, that plays with each click. And if you knew the tempo and the beat and all of that, which the tempo and the beat are almost the same thing, I think, if not the same thing, you could, and you knew the solution to the puzzle, you could sit there and click all of them at the right speed and hear a song. And it's kind of a shame that you don't get more of a song at the end of each puzzle. You could, this guy could have gotten some MIDI open source or free public domain songs, classic pieces really, and had a different song play very cheaply. Yeah, that would have been a nice feature, really. Anyways, back to the puzzle. This one's touching 1 already, so that one's out. This one now is only touching 3, so that one has to be in. This one's touching 1 now, so it's out. This one's out. And this one's out. Now, back to this point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 have to be consecutive, so that's in, and then that's out. There. This 2 is only touching 2, so that one's in, which means this one's been satisfied, so that one's out. We have 2 remaining, 1 in this column and 1 in this column. This one can get rid of this. This 0 gets rid of this. This 1 gets rid of this. So we don't have to worry about that anymore. Now we just have to worry about these 3. This 2 here has already been satisfied, so it gets rid of this. And then this 2 here now is only touching 2, so that it has to include this. So that's in. Which means, of course, that this last one has to be in also. This 2 confirms it, this column marker confirms it, the fact that only 1 is remaining and there's only 1 possible position confirms it, everything confirms it, so we do it. So right now, instead of playing this song, They could have loaded up a full, like, public domain Mozart type classical MIDI song, which MIDI files are basically like text files. They're not even like as big as MP3s. It wouldn't take any space at all. Let's look at the next puzzle. Well, we've been going 25 minutes, and I think it would be a mistake to go any further today. So, almost certainly, now that we've unlocked 31, almost certainly what's going to happen here is we're going to do these puzzles. And then I might do one random puzzle. But I can't imagine myself doing 60 to get the achievement in front of here. I think it would be much more worth everyone's time to leave the random seeds up to somebody else. And if you click here, I guess you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you want. See what that one looks like. Not too bad. They all look very hard. There doesn't seem to be a very, like, different difficulty here. And you can't just do a smaller number. Yeah, in a lot of ways they seem pretty similar too. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 looked a lot like 99999, and 0, 0, 0, 0 looks a little different here. But yeah, so I may do one random one, but that's gonna be it. And that'll be the end of our Hexcells series, and I'll move on to the next game. But that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps me out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.